The Wild, the Wild West was a land of dust, duels, and daring outlaws. Among them, one name stood out: Billy the Kid. A gunslinger with lightning-fast reflexes and a reputation for escaping the law, he became a legend before his time was cut short. But what if he didn't die in 1881? What if he somehow woke up in the modern world where the frontier is gone and the law has evolved far beyond the reach of revolvers and horseback chases? Would Billy the Kid still be the ultimate outlaw, or would he be captured in record time? In the 1800s, Billy roamed free in a world where lawmen relied on word of mouth, wanted posters, and unreliable witnesses. Today, the game has changed. Surveillance cameras track every street. Police use DNA databases, and forensic science can trace even the smallest clue. The same tactics that made Billy a nightmare for sheriffs back then might be useless against drones, GPS tracking, and AI-powered investigations. Could he still vanish into the night? Or would he be caught before he even made it out of town? But let's not count him out just yet. Billy wasn't just fast with a gun. He was smart, unpredictable, and always one step ahead. If anyone could adapt to the modern world, it might be him. He'd no longer need a horse. He could steal a car. Instead of telegrams, he'd use burner phones. Would his outlaw instincts still make him a ghost in a world full of technology? Or would he be just another fugitive, doomed to fall under the weight of modern law enforcement? This is the ultimate showdown. Old West outlaw versus modern justice. Could Billy the Kid escape today's police, as he did back in the 1800s? Or would he find himself in handcuffs before he even knew what hit him? Stick around as we dive deep into the possibilities, compare his past to the present, and uncover the shocking truth about whether Billy the Kid would be unstoppable or just another criminal caught in the system. Billy the Kid opens his eyes, but what he sees ain't the Wild West anymore. No dusty saloon, no horses tied outside, just concrete, neon lights, and the distant sound of car engines. He stumbles to his feet, looking around, confused. Where the hell is he? The last thing he remembers: a gunfight, a bullet, darkness. But now, he's here, and everything is wrong. The air smells different. The lights glow like magic, and there's a strange humming in the distance. Something unnatural. Billy the Kid is no longer in 1881. He's in the present day. He stares at the towering buildings, the flashing billboards, the speeding cars. His heart pounds. What kind of sorcery is this? He reaches for his revolver, gripping it tight. Whatever this world is, he ain't going down without a fight. But there's a bigger problem. People around him are staring, whispering. Their eyes aren't filled with fear like the folks back in Lincoln County. They're amused, curious. Some even pull out little glowing rectangles pointing them at him. What the hell are those? And then, sirens, loud, piercing, coming fast. Billy's outlaw instincts kick in. Whatever's happening, it ain't good. He doesn't know this world, but one thing's for sure. He needs to run. Billy's breathing hard, sweat dripping down his face. This ain't like the old days. No sheriff, no wanted posters. Just flashing red and blue lights and some flying machine tracking his every move. What the hell is this thing? Some kind of metal bird? The sound of sirens grows louder. More of them, he's being hunted. But Billy's always been fast. Always one step ahead. He spots a fire escape, leaps, grabs onto the cold metal, and hauls himself up. Higher. Always go higher. The streets below fill with flashing lights. Cops pour out of their cars, guns drawn. But Billy don't wait to find out what kind of weapons they got. He scrambles across the rooftop, jumps to the next building. This city is a maze. But if there's one thing he knows outlaws don't get caught, then he sees it. A man, wearing black, speaking into some kind of device in his ear. Billy stops, watches. The man's got a gun, but it's no revolver. Something sleek, deadly. But what really gets him? The badge on his chest. He ain't dealing with deputies anymore. This is something else, something far more dangerous. Billy's mind races. Back in the Wild West, a man could disappear by just riding out into the desert. But here, everywhere he looks, there's eyes. Not human ones, glowing red ones, stuck to poles, blinking, watching him. He grips his revolver. But what good is a six-shooter against something that don't bleed? He needs a plan. Fast. A neon sign flickers beside him. A motel. He makes his way down, slipping inside. The clerk barely looks up from his glowing box. Billy throws some old coins on the counter, gritting his teeth. Gold always buys silence. Upstairs, he locks the door, breathes, thinks. But then he sees it. A glowing screen in the corner of the room. He steps closer. A moving picture, but it ain't a theater. And on the screen, his face. His wanted poster. In color, on every damn channel. And that's when it hits him. He ain't just an outlaw in this world. He's a ghost. A relic. And the whole damn world knows it. They move like hunters. Dressed in black. Wearing armor that gleams under the flickering motel light. Their weapons don't look like anything Billy's ever seen. No six-shooters. No lever-action rifles. These weapons don't fire bullets. They fire light. He pulls the trigger. Bang! One shot, straight to the chest. But instead of dropping, the man just stumbles back. Armor. Billy curses under his breath. He's outgunned. Put it down, one of them says, stepping forward. Billy ain't ever taken orders in his life, and he sure as hell ain't about to start now. Another officer speaks into his device. Suspect is armed and dangerous. Billy smirks. Damn right he is, then. A sudden, sharp pain. His whole body stiffens. Electricity surges through him. He tries to fight it, but his muscles won't move. Billy the Kid, the fastest outlaw in the West, just lost his first fight in the modern world. Billy ain't never been scared of a jail cell. He's broken out before. But this ain't no sheriff's office. There's no keys, no guards to bribe. Just a room, glowing white, with a single screen. A voice crackles through. William H. Bonney, you are under federal jurisdiction. Billy's eyes narrow. They know his name, his real name. Ain't nobody called him that since before he was a legend. The voice continues. You don't exist in any modern records. You are an anomaly. Billy clenches his fists. An anomaly? He don't know what that means. But one thing's for sure. He ain't staying in this place. And if they think they've seen the last of Billy the Kid, they've got another thing coming. Billy the Kid has been in plenty of jails before, but this ain't like any he's ever seen. No rusty iron bars, no wooden doors to kick down, just smooth, white walls with no way out. But if there's one thing Billy knows, ain't no prison ever held him for long. He turns, eyes scanning the room. There's got to be a weak spot, a vent, a hidden door. He presses his ear against the wall. Nothing. No sound, no movement. Then, the screen flickers again. A face appears. A woman dressed in black, cold eyes staring at him. You're an anomaly, Billy, she says. A relic from a time that no longer exists. Billy smirks. Yeah? Then why am I still here? She leans forward. That's what we want to know. The screen cuts to static. Billy clenches his fists. If they're trying to study him, they made a mistake keeping him alive. He ain't about to play their game. He's about to break it. Ain't nothing ever held Billy for long. Not bars, not bounty hunters, and sure as hell not a bunch of walls with no doors. He crouches low, prying the vent open. It's tight, but he's used to squeezing out of tight spots. He crawls forward, heart pounding. The air is thick, the metal cold against his hands. Every inch takes him closer to freedom. He moves fast, quiet, like a coyote sneaking through the night. Then, voices, footsteps. He freezes. They're looking for him. He holds his breath as shadows move past a grate. One mistake and it's over. But luck's always been on Billy's side. He keeps moving, eyes scanning for an exit, and then he sees it. A panel, loose at the edge. He kicks it, hard. It pops open. Fresh air. Freedom. But he ain't alone. Standing in the alley, waiting for him, is the woman from the screen, and she's smiling. Billy's always been good at reading people. This woman, she ain't no sheriff. She ain't even mad. That's what makes her dangerous. She wanted him to escape. She tilts her head. I was hoping you'd try. Now we know you're exactly who we thought you were. Billy tightens his grip on his revolver. And who the hell is that? She smiles. A legend. A ghost. Someone who shouldn't exist. She steps closer. You have two choices, Billy. Run, and we'll hunt you down. Or stay, and we'll tell you why you're really here. Billy's heart pounds. This ain't about law anymore. This is bigger. Much bigger. His fingers twitch on the trigger. Run or listen. Fight or find out the truth. Whatever this is, it ain't over. Billy stands motionless, his revolver hanging loosely at his side. But his mind is a storm of questions. You're not here by chance. The woman's voice lingers in the air, her words sharper than any bullet he's ever faced. What did she mean? For the first time in his life, Billy isn't sure if the enemy is in front of him or buried somewhere inside himself. He's always known how to fight, but how do you fight something you can't see? The landscape around him begins to change, flickering like an old lamp about to go out. The dusty streets of the town he thought he escaped into are shifting, dissolving into something strange and unfamiliar. The stars above him seem to pulse, brighter, closer, as if they're watching. Billy's hand twitches near his holster, but what good is a gun when the world itself feels like it's falling apart? This isn't real, or is it? The woman's voice cuts through the chaos like a whip, her calm tone an anchor in the madness. You've lived your whole life as a legend, Billy, but even legends have beginnings. You've been asking the wrong question this whole time. Her cold eyes meet his, and for the first time, Billy feels something he hasn't in years. Doubt. Why are you still here? And why now? She asks, stepping closer, her voice carrying the weight of a truth he doesn't want to face. Billy feels the ground shift beneath his boots, but it's not fear that keeps him rooted. It's something worse. Curiosity. What are you saying? He growls, his voice a low rumble. The woman smirks, almost pitying him. You're not just a man out of time, Billy. You're the one thing this world can't afford to lose. Or control. The sky above fractures like glass, and Billy knows his fight has